I freaking love Tekken, and I'm hyped as hell for Tekken 7. It's been 8 years since the last main entry in the series, and I hope the wait is worth it. In the meantime, let's take a look at Tekken 6. Looking back, the hype for Tekken 7 is similar to how it was for 6. A leap to the next gen, a new game engine, new characters, and new mechanics to boot. Is Tekken 6 another classic entry into the series, or is the Iron Fist showing signs of rust? If I had one word to describe Tekken 6, it would be smooth. Everything about it is so refined, from the graphics all the way to the fighting engine. Not only is it beautiful to look at, but playing it feels like poetry in motion. The controls are easy to understand, with each button corresponding to a limb. Many people complain that Tekken is hard to get into and requires you to memorize these 10-hit combos and count frames like a mad scientist. That's true for the hardcore fighting scene, but for casual one-on-one play, anyone can easily jump in and feel comfortable with one of the 40 fighters. Heck, I decided to grab my boy 50 Blades of Grey over, and he ended up kicking my ass with Miguel. Whether you want to play as a boxing kangaroo or a panda bear, Tekken got you covered. Even with all the characters and combat styles, it never really feels cheap. This is one of the most balanced fighters I've ever played. Sure, everyone has Bob, Steve, and Law considered to be top tier, but you can win with anyone. Heck, even Zafina, that gets no love, has a good low game and can easily be deadly in the hands of the right player. Tekken was always known for its juggling, and being able to do it in the past meant you were a baller. Now with the new bound mechanic of fighters bouncing off the ground to continue a juggle, and characters taking longer to hit the ground, this is no longer the case. While newcomers will feel like a master with this new change, fans of old school Tekken might be a bit put off by it. The new rage system is something of a mixed bag for me. When one fighter's health drops too low, he or she will enter in rage mode and do more damage. While I like how comebacks are easier to occur and keep the tension up during the match, the damage boost is a bit too much, and fast characters like Law and Eddie can easily take advantage of this. More so than ever, Tekken 6 decided to focus on the story more than the past with a new campaign mode. It takes the beat 'em up modes of previous titles and expands upon it. The story focuses on a new protagonist, Lars Alexandersson, a half Japanese, half Swedish rebel leader who loses his memory in time for the plot to begin. He then begins on his journey to pick up the pieces and find out what his goal truly is. Lars is a decent protagonist and cool to play as, but he wasn't enough to save this mode from its issues. The story is just not as engaging as I hoped, which can be attributed to these long and drawn out cutscenes. It bogs down the game to a slow and tedious grind. Although there is one badass moment where Heihachi literally eats a bullet to his head that everyone needs to see. Dude is an animal. The controls are also a big flaw. You move with the left stick freely, while the D-pad is used when you're locked onto an opponent. This becomes extremely frustrating as you lock onto enemies, but you still use the left analog stick, forcing you to take hits and not perform combos correctly. It's hard to explain, but anyone who's played through this mode knows what I'm talking about. And the biggest missed opportunity for this mode goes to no couch co-op. The one feature fans wanted with Tekken 4 since the beginning, and you're restricted to only online? Why the hell couldn't a friend come over and help me breeze through the campaign? The partner AI is fine and all, as long as it doesn't get surrounded, but the experience would have been much better with my boy coming over. Tekken Force and Devil Within were fun little novelties, but never the main focus of Tekken. It ultimately detracts from the fighting engine and what makes Tekken 6 great. However, I do admire everything around the actual combat. The money you gain in fights can be used to purchase new gear for your character, and the gear you find in the missions have special buffs that can be used to power up your character. For better or for worse, you end up looking way different at the end than at the start, almost like an RPG. Outside of the scenario campaign, Tekken 6 features a plethora of extras, including arcade, ghost battles, team battle mode, survival mode, time attack mode, customization, and online play. Arcade mode is a given. Fight through 8 stages and beat the boss to win the game. This time, we get the cheapest boss of all time, Azazel. This demonic chicken is incredibly cheap. Not only does she read all your moves, but her patterns are unpredictable and her openings are extremely small. Even hitting her low when she is standing is an automatic block. I can sweep through the arcade no problem, but once I get to her, the streak is all over. For some strange reason, The arcade mode does not feature any endings or prologues. Instead, you will need to unlock the character and scenario campaign and play as them in the arena. It's a bit of a joke considering there are only 4 stages and Azazel is now a piece of cake. The endings this time are kinda dumb and focus more on the cheese factor rather than the more serious and badass tone the series is known for. Overall, Tekken 6 delivered on everything that was expected of it, and that was it. Unfortunately, it didn't quite live up to the hype, and some see it as a step backwards. While I understand due to the scenario campaign and the lack of any real revolutions in gameplay, Tekken 6 is still a very solid fighter. It isn't the best in the series and isn't my personal favorite, but it still deserves a solid recommendation. Thank you guys for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe to be notified of my upcoming review of Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and this is Pow3rh0use signing off.